As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
Oklahoma State Cowboys with the big win over West Virginia. That's a nice win. And you mentioned this with Ohio State. One team had Marvin Harrison Jr., one did not. That was the difference in the football game. Well, one team had Ollie Gordon, the other did not. That was the difference in the football game. This dude is on an absolute heater right now. Every time he touches the ball, just incredible stuff. What do you average? It was almost 11 yards a carry.
29 carries for 282 yards and 4 touchdowns.
4. Dude is an absolute beast running the football.
And I'll say this. He is doing it behind a bad offensive line. You are not going to change my opinion of that group. It's not a good group, which makes what Ollie Gordon is doing. I sit there and watch and I go, my goodness, this guy. He's huge. He's running through people. He's showing speed. That was a massive win.
Massive.
For them.
Yeah.
They're right there in the conversation, right? You talk about the third best team in the Big 12 right now. They are right there in the conversation with Iowa State. Now, you probably have to give Iowa State the edge because Iowa State beat Oklahoma State. But it feels like Oklahoma State's found the recipe, and it's give the damn ball to Ollie Gordon.
That's right. Don't overthink it, right? Here's the best player we've got on our football team. Let's hand it to him 30 times a game. He's incredible, and he's taken them to another level, and been saying it a while. That game in Stillwater is going to be a fight. It's going to be a tough game for us to go win. There's going to be a lot of energy in that place. So it's fun, man. I continue to credit Mike Gundy. I said it before the season this year. I have no reason to believe that Oklahoma State is going to have a good football team. I have no reason to believe they're going to be able to put anything together offensively. There is nothing I can point at to say that I think Oklahoma State has a chance to compete for a Big 12 championship. But I know somehow, some way they're going to be there. These are the years whenever Mike Gundy usually shows up with something good, is whenever no one picks him to compete. He is an impressive football coach.
He's very good. And you just think, little over a month ago, what South Alabama did to him on their own field. Now they're a 5-2 football team, and they are right in the middle of a race for one of the spots in the Big 12 title game.
What's funny is thinking back to that game, they got hammered at home. And post-game, Mike Gundy's like, well, I don't think we have that big of issues anywhere. Everyone's like, what?
He said no major issues.
Yeah, I don't see any major.
We don't have any majors. That's what he said. And hey, turns out the guy may know a thing or two. My goodness. Hell of a win, though, man. Hell of a win. 5-2. The Oklahoma State Cowboys are 5-2.
Impressive.
Anything else on them?
Nope. That was a good one. Ollie Gordon. He's going to start being talked about quite a bit nationally with the run he's on.
No doubt. All right. Who do you have as your loser of the weekend?
Well, everyone coming out of this game is a loser. The Texas-Houston football game.
Oh, my gosh.
Texas loses Quinn Ewers. Not exactly sure what the prognosis is on that. But they find their way out of that football game, but they shouldn't have. I don't know what happened down the stretch with Houston. I don't know why Dana Holgerson didn't call a timeout to have that spot challenged. Don't let them say, oh, we looked at it, there's nothing there. that should have been stopped and reviewed. The review rules in college football state that anytime that there's something questionable that has a direct impact on the outcome of a football game in a critical moment, it should be reviewed. And that was not. He should have challenged it. He should have thrown a, or not thrown a, called a timeout. That play needed to be reviewed. It looked to me clearly a bad spot. At a minimum, it's like 4th and inches, but most likely that looked like a first down to me.
I think it was absolutely a first down. And Holgerson talked about it after the game. You're going to love this quote. We took the mighty Texas Longhorns, the number 8 team in the country, to the wire. I think the spot was horrible. I think we got the first down. It was 1st and 9 at the 9. I don't understand review. Every time I think something is reviewable, I can't get them to review it. They say they're looking at it, but I don't know that.
There's no way they're looking at it. Right. Well, that's why, in my opinion, he had one timeout. You don't want to, but you've got to use a timeout right there. You got to challenge. And I don't know, did he challenge earlier in the game?
It's under 2 minutes, right?
It should be reviewed. Yes.
Yes.
100%. That play should have been reviewed.
And it was a first down. That was an awful spot.
I credit Tim Brando on the call, was like, that's first down. I don't know what they're looking at. It's pretty funny. It was.
I also, so you get the horrible spot, you get that bad break, right?
Oh,
4th and inches.
Quarterback.
4th and inches. Your quarterback's enormous. Donovan Smith is huge. You run sprint pass.
Yep.
Just get under center. Now, Texas has some beef in the interior of the defensive line, right? I will acknowledge that. But still, man, you've got this huge, massive athlete at quarterback. Just let him fall forward for the first down.
Yep.
The sprint pass was there. It's just ball was late. Horrible throw from Smith. Yeah. I mean, it was there. It was open. You could see Holgerson's frustration on the sideline. My goodness.
We were all Holgerson at that point, I think, on our knees, pounding the ground. I understand the frustration. I mean, I understand it. I feel bad for Houston battling like that, and you feel like a call is the, and do they go score? We'll never know, but you hate to see that had such a huge impact on the game. I don't know what the issue is with Quinn Ewers, though. Like, what are they saying on that? Is
shoulder. Remember that he missed a lot of time last year.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's AC joint, if it's collarbone. I think he's going to miss some time again. And all of a sudden you start taking a look at that Texas schedule.
It's going to be tough.
November 4th, Kansas State comes to Austin. And we'll get to it. You want to take a guess of who my winner of the weekend is?
It's the old saying, you don't have one quarterback if you have two. Has that been proven incorrect?
They made it look pretty damn good. Let's get to my winner and loser. But first,
elevate your tailgate with Chapel Supply and Equipment in Oklahoma City. Chapel Supply and Equipment has generators and inverters on hand that'll give you all the power you need so you could take your tailgate to the next level. They've also got top-of-the-line heaters to keep you warm during those cold tailgates later in the season. They're Oklahoma-owned and operated. Elevate your tailgate by calling 405-495-1722 or visit chapelsupply.com. That's CHAPPELL supply.com.
First Fidelity Bank knows how to keep fans like you happy. With more than 50 awards in the last 5 years, including Forbes Best In-State Bank, the Oklahoma's Community Choice Awards, and the Journal Records Reading Rankings, it's clear that they're Oklahoma's #1 pick for quality banking. And you can find that level of outstanding service in everything FFB offers. Open an account at an award-winning bank today at ffb.com. First Fidelity Bank, we go where you go.
Don't forget to head to opolisclothing.com for our podcast merchandise and the best OU gear out there. That's OPOLIS clothing.com. Use promo code TED. TED for 10% off. That's opolisclothing.com. Use promo code TED for 10% off. Buttery soft and 10% off.
And obviously, Grow grabbed the Stutzman shirt, but also, and Drake Stoops has to do a better job of promoting himself. He's got 3 shirts. They're for Opolis, and they're all awesome. His entire family was rocking them at the game.
I was wondering if that's what his mom was wearing.
Yes. Everyone was like,
cool shirt.
Carol, where'd you get that shirt? It's at opolisclothing.com. I know how much the fan base loves Drake Stoops. Go support that young man. The shirts are cool too.
How awesome was the free marketing from the flight crew with the Texas Sucks Opolis t-shirt?
That's one of the cooler things that's happened for us as a podcast.
That was cool.
When he opened that, when I saw the shirt, I was like, oh, that's Teddy. That's our shirt.
That was awesome.
I don't know who you are, sir, but thank you for your service. And that was awesome.
I think I could lip read. I think he was saying promo code TED, TED.
Oh, that was good. All right, for my winner of the weekend, the Kansas State Wildcats.
Woo!
The question going into this game against TCU, how would a two quarterback system work with Will Howard and Avery Johnson? Would it work? I believe the answer to that is a resounding yes. They made it work.
But is it a 2 quarterback system though, really? Isn't it 1 quarterback and 1 tight end?
Wow. You went there. Will Howard was awesome in this game too.
I know it.
He played like a guy that does not want to lose his job to a freshman. Right. And K-State destroyed TCU 41-3 in Manhattan. That offense was humming early. Touchdown, 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 field goal. It's how the OU game should have been.
Yep.
But both quarterbacks, Avery Johnson and Will Howard, were rock solid, threw it well, made good decisions with the football. Avery Johnson added a lot to the run game. They ran him quite a bit. Will Howard ripped off some big explosive runs. And I thought they both played well. And this was a bludgeoning. That Kansas State offensive line punished TCU's defense. They ran for a cool 343 yards in this one.
Man.
Ted, this thing was a bloodbath, dude.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're looking at K-State, and I'll tell you this. You know, I'm not scared for Oklahoma to play anyone in the Big 12 conference. Don't hate that OU doesn't have to play this K-State team, though.
Yeah. It's crazy.
In the regular season.
Yeah. It's crazy whenever you look at the stats in this game. They ran for 343 and didn't have a 100-yard rusher. Your instant thinking is, well, they don't have like one really good guy, but it's more difficult whenever you've got all kinds of different guys that they do different things with, and they all have a lot of success.
Well, Warden Giddens at running back are both, they're good in the run game. They catch the ball out of the backfield well. Now you've got Avery Johnson and his speed at quarterback. A lot of moving parts, a lot of shifts, a lot of motions like they've always had. It's tough, man. Yeah,
they're 2 leading rushers. You mentioned Warden Giddens. They both caught touchdown passes too, and had several catches out there. It's led by that offensive line, and it is a difficult animal to deal with. Whenever they get rolling and they get momentum, it's just like a steamroller. You can't stop it.
I've got a question for you.
Okay.
As a defensive guy, what do you consider an explosive play on offense? Is it runs of 12, 15, passes of 15, 20? Like, what are your
Everyone's
benchmarks
a little
there?
bit different, and I think it's changed over the years. I think an explosive run is, a run of 18 yards.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
It may be shorter than that now.
What do you think for explosive pass then?
I think I feel like run is 18 and a pass is like 24, but I think that may be wrong. I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up.
Using those benchmarks, And I watched a ton of this game. I think using those benchmarks, TCU had one explosive play in the game. Amani Bailey had like a 30-plus yard run. I think their longest pass play was 16 yards to, I believe it was Savion Williams. So you talk about explosive plays as an offense. You think about that group a year ago for TCU, and I know they lost some dudes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
One explosive play in the entire football game. I mean, you're playing a freshman quarterback, right? And I talked to Josh Hoover on my Sirius XM show earlier this week. Super likable guy, right? Was excited for the opportunity, but that's not an easy place for a freshman to go play. And they fell in such a big hole early. They just could not get anything going offensively at all.
That's what I'm talking about whenever I say that it matters whenever you score early, because like TCU, you've got a freshman quarterback there. When you get up and you punch it in early, and you can change your thinking offensively to more of a we're going to grind this thing out, possess it. In TCU, you have to get increasingly more risky and put more on. Like, they would much rather play in a tight football game where they can lean on the run. But now, because of what happened with the score early, they have to put it on a young quarterback's arm. It's not what you want. Defensively, it makes playing defense way easier.
Yeah. Now you look at the picture in the Big 12 conference standings. OU in a great spot, right? 4-0. 4 teams now sitting at 3-1. Now, K-State's got the loss to Oklahoma State already, but they still have Texas and Austin on November 4th and Iowa State in Manhattan on November 25th on the schedule. I think we both predicted K-State to play in the Big 12 championship game this season. And with the way that team is looking, I think they got a pretty good chance.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be fun. Gonna be fun. The Big 12 down the stretch is gonna be a lot of fun.
It is, and I know. And I told Coach Venables the other night at Rudy's. I was like, someone had mentioned something about Texas, and we were just talking over the break, and I was like, I don't think you guys see him again. And he's like, what do you mean? Who you think? You think? I basically just pointed out that they're going to lose to Kansas State, and Kansas State's going to be the team late. And which was, I didn't know they were going to do this to TCU, and it starts to feel that way. That I don't know that Texas, when you watch that Houston game and now Quinn Ewers,
yeah,
I know a lot of people had just assumed that it's going to be a rematch, and we have work to do ourselves to get there. Okay, we've got our own things we need to deal with, but just looking across the rest of the conference, I mean, it's still wide open, but K-State's looking good, and I think Iowa State, Oklahoma State are looking good too.
yeah. There's a reason. There's a saying about assuming. Ted.
That's right.
It exists for a reason. All right, for my loser of the weekend, the North Carolina Tar Heels. Wow. What a disaster for Mac Brown's group. For those that didn't tune into the CW for this one, number 10 North Carolina loses to Virginia. Virginia came into this game 1-5. Tar Heels got beat on their own field by a team that came in 1-5. Now, all credit to Tony Elliott and that group, but just a brutal loss for North Carolina. Eliminates him, in my opinion, eliminates him from the college football playoff contention. They still have Duke and Clemson left on the schedule. Remember, no divisions in the ACC anymore. So we'll see if this slip up ends up costing him a berth in the ACC championship game as well. Ted, that's a bad loss.
Yeah. And number one, North Carolina it's very difficult for me to watch on television.
Are you distracted by the beautiful blue?
I don't know. It's hard for me to like flip the switch that I'm watching serious football. It's weird.
What the hell does that even mean?
It means that I've been programmed. I've been indoctrinated, whatever you want to say. Logo matters to me.
I said it. Was that last weekend when I said, like, I just don't see them as a contender? We're the same. Oh my gosh, look at us.
I just can't. I'd rather watch like almost anything else. It's not even that I'd rather. Like, I just can't stay locked in. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it.
We need
Can't force myself to keep the television there.
We need to. Maybe we should consult a Clemson sports psychologist about why you feel this way.
I need to be deprogrammed. I don't know.
I'm guessing you didn't laugh at my joke, so I'm guessing you didn't see what Dabo said.
Oh no, is there something new?
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
Now, North Carolina's loss is going to distract some of the ACC people from the fact that Clemson lost to Miami. They asked him basically, hey, do you have a sports psychologist for these situations? And he said, yeah, probably on suicide watch right now.
Oh, geez.
Just one thing after another with this guy, man. It is just something every week, it feels like now with Dabo Swinney. He's truly a content machine, though, so I'm not gonna complain. But yeah, that one didn't go over well, as you can imagine.
About like the Michigan State video board.
Yeah. I love college football, man. It's the best. It is the best. All right. Couple things on that loss for North Carolina. No, first of all, Tony Muskett is about as cool of a quarterback name as you're going to find. I mean, and I thought he wasn't perfect, man, but that guy played his tail off. I thought he did some really good things with his legs as well. Like that guy played really, really well. But Drake May, there's just something missing for me with Drake May. He missed a lot of throws. Now, you look at the stats, right? 347 and 2 touchdowns. But this was against Virginia. He's 24 of 48 against Virginia. And he never looks very comfortable in the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Had some misses on some deep balls where the ball just goes out of bounds. Missed some crucial throws in the fourth quarter. He's supposed to be that dude, right?
I know.
And Virginia gave North Carolina a gift. They fumbled the ball through the end zone for a touchback with 5 minutes to go, or else that game is put away right there.
Yeah.
And Drake May in that North Carolina offense, Tez Walker's a stud, by the way. Whoa. They had multiple opportunities. Hey, go win the game. If you're supposed to be that dude, you go and win the game.
He makes a lot of great plays, but usually a quality of really good players is like, I think about Kyler Murray. He makes, whenever he was quarterback at Oklahoma, he made the incredible look really, really easy. And he makes the easy look like a walkthrough. Drake May, when I watch him, I feel like he makes everything, no matter what, look incredibly difficult. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, even the routine for him, it's like you're always like hanging on for your seat. Like, is this going to be like a critical error? Is he going to like totally whiff on this pass? There's something there about him that I'm with you. He looks like everything is way too chaotic.
he's a big guy and he kind of plays little.
Yeah. He's like
Like
6'4", 235.
he, in a game like that, you got to have a sense of the moment, right? You're going to have to take some hits, man. You're going to have to go get some extra yards with your legs. And I don't know, I don't know. At this point in time, he does not do it for me. I don't know how to describe it other than that, but
If I could take Cam Rising's brain and place
yes,
it into Drake May's body, you would have yourself hell on wheels.
the best quarterback ever.
Right.
But, and I feel like this brings this entire episode full circle. Guess who ran the push QB sneak on 4th and short? Virginia.
The winner of this football game.
Virginia. And it worked. And guess what they ended up going and doing on that drive? They scored a touchdown. It's not that hard. You can do it, college teams. Just put your quarterback under center. If Musket can do it, your guy can do it. The only other thought I have on this game is I feel like Virginia's logo is super underrated. It's an awesome logo. The V with the like sword sabers. I don't know what you call them underneath.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet. They had some all whites on. I really liked the way it looked. Now, maybe it had everything to do with them hitting Drake May at the end and picking him off and them celebrating in the icy whites. I don't know, but the logo's good. I don't think that football team's very good, but hey, they beat North Carolina on Saturday. So
they don't need to be good all season. They just needed to be good last night.
No doubt.